Alright y'all, so I'm gonna take y'all to the zoo in Mérida. This is the one in Centro. As you can see, it's massive. But the most important thing is the gate is wide open. It is 100% free. So let's go check it out. I can definitely tell you this much. It is a scorcher out here. It's 96 degrees, so no sunscreen is the way to go.
Most American zoos would cost what, $25, $40, a parking fee and a souvenir trap at the exit? But here in the heart of Mérida, you walk through the gate and it costs absolutely nothing.
So a lot of y'all don't know me, but I'll tell you one thing, dude. I am scared shitless of iguanas, man.
Unlike standard modern zoos, which are usually funded by massive foundations or ticket sales, this one traditionally has been supported by the city for decades, by local schools, families, and loving wildlife.
DJ out here? What is happening here, man? Gracias.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty freaking cool. And then you see it, the train. The line is long, like suspiciously long. And I'm thinking, what are we waiting for? Is this thing made of gold? $1 1 peso to ride this full loop around the zoo. And that's 5 cents US money. People wait here because the train isn't just transportation. It's part of the ritual. It's tradition. It's nostalgic. It's parents who rode this thing as a kid, but now they're riding it with their kids. And as the train moves, the zoo opens up. You get a sense of scale. And that's when you realize this place is bigger than it first looked. I can't deny that. This place, it actually opened in 1910 during Mexico's centennial celebration of independence. That's not recent. That's pre-World War I, pre-Disney, pre-modern zoo standards entirely. It was originally designed as a botanical garden and a public park. The animals came later. Over time, it became one of Mérida's most visited public spaces, and that's important because this zoo isn't just some tourist spectacle built for a cruise ship. It's built for the locals. School field trips, Sunday walks, families with strollers, grandparents under shade trees. There's something very Latin America about that. Public space that belongs to everybody. Now, I gotta tell you, these iguanas. Now listen, I'm not emotionally prepared for free-roaming dinosaurs. Nobody warned me about this. On the ground, in the trees, by the tracks. Nobody else seemed bothered. Kids walked by them like pigeons. Meanwhile, I'm calculating escape routes. But here is the thing. This is their climate, their environment. Mérida is hot, tropical, dry. Jungle meets the city. These iguanas aren't exhibits. They're residents. But let's talk about the harder part. Yes, there is a large variety here. Jaguars, monkeys, deer, birds, reptiles. For a free zoo, it's very impressive. But some of the enclosures are smaller than what you likely see in the major US zoos. Some feel dated, some feel like the infrastructure from another era. And that's when my brain kind of goes back to something that bothered me for years. The documentary called Blackfish. That documentary changed how I look at animals in captivity. It forces you to ask, is education enough? Is access enough? Is public good enough? And I don't pretend to have the moral high ground here. I'm walking through it, I'm filming it, I'm participating in it, but I think it's important to say that quiet part out loud. And then the food, because this is Mérida. Fruit cups, ice cream, street snacks, families sitting under shaded trees like they are at a Sunday picnic. There's something beautiful about that. It's not sterile, it's not curated, it's community. I think what struck me the most is that this is a public zoo in a Mexican city. It doesn't have $1 billion conservation fund. It doesn't have Silicon Valley donors. It operates under completely different economic framework. And for many families here, this might be the only time for their kids to see a jaguar in real life. That matters. Exposure matters. Inspiration matters. The question is always, is it balanced? Now, in America, we often build an experience that's bigger, newer, or more polished, but sometimes it can feel detached. Here, it's imperfect, it's layered, it's complicated. It feels like something part of the city's bloodstream, and it makes it harder to categorize as simply as good or bad.
So I gotta pause for a second for all you Dragon Ball Z fans. They got, for 10 pesos, you can come in here and you can get your own little Dragon Ball. I think that's really cool. Mexico's always got a lot of Dragon Ball Z going on, whether it be shirts or toys or stuff for sale or even advertisement. A lot of Dragon Ball Z is popular here.
I'm gonna be honest, for the families, for accessibility, for cultural value, this zoo might be the best zoo I've ever been to. But for the animals, it's a little more complicated. And I think it's okay to sit down with that complexity instead of pretending that it's that simple to say that it's good or bad. It's really honestly hard to say, especially for a place that is so culturally important to so many families in the area that I live in currently, and I don't want to make anyone mad.
They got a 4-wheeler track in the middle of the zoo, dude. I mean, it's pretty sick, dude. And it's like no holds bars. There's like a helmet, but it looks like it can get vicious. No safety regulations. They're just going in. I love that.
My son had a great opportunity to ride a horse while we were here. It was very affordable, only 50 pesos. He personally did not like it at all. And in fact, he wanted to get off the entire ride, which at the end, by the time I got him off, he was very thankful. And after this, it worked up an appetite. So I thought, why not stop in here, get myself a Jamaica and get him a pizza? This is what it looked like.
I got some Jamaica, as always. I love the Jamaica. And also, I ordered a pizza. So we'll see. Pizza's probably not going to be amazing. I'm at a zoo. So I'm back with the pizza, the za. In the States, we call it za. That's za. But it's a tortilla with pepperoni and cheese on it. Nothing too crazy. And I mean, I seen it as like just a cheap meal for my son. But now I'm thinking I might have to devour this and leave him with maybe one slice. I'm just on the fence right now. It's too hot right now to eat, so I'll know in a minute after it cools down what the verdict's gonna be, whether I'm gonna be a good dad or just take this for myself. I'm pretty sure a lot of people understand these decisions that happen constantly. But yeah, overall, without even tasting it, pizza looks pretty chill. Pizza was 20 pesos, so that's less than $1.
Beautiful, historic, warm, and a little rough around the edges. What do you think about zoos like this? Let me know in the comments.
All right, y'all, we're coming down to the end of our zoo experience. Hanging out with the kids at the playground. For the children, for the human experience, it's definitely better. I think overall, the human experience at the zoo here is probably better than the one experience that I'm used to in the States. But when it comes to the actual animals experience, it looks like it's worse. I'm not gonna lie, the cages are smaller. The habitats in general, it just looks a little bit smaller and less, I don't know, acclimate to the animals. So they're more in cages for sure. The food, the playgrounds, the 4-wheelers, the train. I mean, there's a lot of things built for the people here. The horse rides. Overall, I think it's really cool, but we're not really zoo supporters, to be honest. If you ever seen the documentary Blackfish, ever since I watched that, it made me not want to go to SeaWorld or any zoos ever again. The only reason I'm here is because we had a friend invite us, and we had never been to the zoo in Mérida, and it's one of the things they tell you you should experience. And I wanted to be able to get this information out to y'all. But other than that, I probably won't be coming back. So. When I first got here, I thought this was real juice. I've been misled. When I finally read the ingredients, it's definitely a Coke product. It's definitely not good for you. But it tastes amazing, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite drinks in Mexico.